Honorable Ministers and fellow advocates for education, it is an honor and a profound responsibility to speak to you today at the 21st CARICOM Education Summit on the beautiful island of Jamaica. As we gather to shape the future of education in our region, we find ourselves at a pivotal moment, profoundly influenced by the unprecedented challenges and unique opportunities that have emerged from the COVID-19 pandemic. My name is Alex Anderson, and I'm here today to explore two key opportunities that this crisis has illuminated, opportunities that have the potential to transform our educational landscape. First, we will delve into how we can improve our educational leadership and management abilities, leveraging the lessons learned during the pandemic to foster more resilient and effective educational systems. Second, we will discuss the urgent need to focus on educational equity to ensure that every child, regardless of their background, has an access to quality education. Thank you for your commitment to this cause, and I look forward to engaging with each of you to envision and enact a future where education in the Caribbean is defined by its excellence and inclusivity. Let's embark on this journey together, with open minds and a shared vision, to redefine what is possible for our learners and our nations. Let us begin. As previously mentioned, the COVID-19 pandemic has presented unparalleled challenges worldwide, and the Caribbean educational system has not been exempt. The region's unique challenges, compounded by pre-existing inequalities and limited resources, have called for innovative responses from educational leaders. However, despite these obstacles, an opportunity to improve educational leadership and management abilities has surfaced. By focusing on this opportunity, we will examine how the pandemic has driven transformative change in educational leadership and management capabilities, emphasizing the evolution of leadership practices. Harrison Jones argued that the principles of effective leadership, such as having a clear vision and developing others, remain constant, but the context in which these principles are applied has dramatically changed. The pandemic exposing vulnerabilities in the Caribbean's educational leadership and management forced leaders to rethink traditional models and adapt to new realities, fostering a culture of resilience and adaptability. The sudden shift to remote learning, for example, necessitated a reevaluation and modification of leadership strategies by educational leaders, emphasizing the importance of adaptive leadership. A study titled The Impact of COVID-19 on School Administrators' Leadership Attributes in Selected Schools in Jamaica found that leaders showcased remarkable adaptiveness throughout this challenging period. These leaders engaged in continuous learning and strategically adjusted their approaches to effectively address the evolving demands of the pandemic. Unquestionably, this adaptability was crucial for making informed decisions and solving problems in the face of extraordinary challenges. COVID-19 also highlighted the importance of crisis and change management skills for school teachers, as the ability to manage constant change and navigate emergencies effectively has become essential. Through effective crisis management, leaders were able to overcome significant hurdles by making well-informed decisions, maintaining clear communication, and employing flexible strategies. Harrison Jones noted that conventional problem-solving approaches was no longer sufficient. They observed that leaders had to now engage in continuous crisis management, requiring trust and fostering a sense of agency among staff. In parallel, change management skills played a critical role in guiding school through transitions, building resilience, and further nurturing a culture of adaptability. These competencies not only mitigated the immediate impact of the pandemic, but also laid the groundwork for long-term improvements in educational practices and infrastructure, ensuring that schools were better prepared for future crises. Educational leaders in the region also demonstrated significant growth in their ability to manage adversity by employing distributed leadership frameworks to share responsibilities and decision-making processes among a wider group of stakeholders. This approach not only fosters collaboration, but also capitalizes on the collective strengths of the learning community. According to Hudson et al., distributed leadership was crucial for addressing the diverse challenges posed by the pandemic, while Harrison Jones contended that this collaborative approach is indispensable not only during crises, but also as a foundation for sustainable and effective educational practices. That being said, by actively engaging with local communities and stakeholders in our shared region, leaders can strengthen and support network for schools, creating a more inclusive and enriching educational environment. In their 2022 study, Boswell Lewis et al. investigated how the pandemic has shaped the leadership traits of principals in Jamaican schools, focusing on aspects such as compassion, communication, and decisiveness. It was found that leaders exhibited high levels of compassion and care, emphasizing the importance of forging connections over corrections during the crisis. This compassionate approach fostered a sense of togetherness among staff and students, crucial for navigating the uncertainties brought on by the pandemic. Additionally, effective communication emerged as a critical leadership attribute. Regular, transparent communication helped in managing crisis-induced uncertainties, ensuring that staff and students were kept informed and felt supported. According to Thompson et al., educational stakeholders experienced less uncertainty and stress as leaders provided more proactive and higher than normal communication through novel communication channels, with regular updates and support for teachers, students, and parents. For example, the Teachers Union in St. Lucia maintained constant dialogue with its members and other education system participants to manage the crisis effectively. Decisive leadership was similarly critical in responding swiftly to the crisis. Principals in Jamaica exhibited high levels of decisiveness, making rapid, impactful decisions even with limited information. This attribute was essential for maintaining order and ensuring that the school could adapt quickly to the changing circumstances of the pandemic. These enhanced leadership qualities prove invaluable not only for managing the immediate crisis, but also for effectively navigating future challenges. The findings of various studies provide critical insights and practical lessons for policymakers and educational leaders, highlighting the need for ongoing support, professional development, and adaptive strategies to cultivate resilient and effective educational systems. The significant global impact of COVID-19 on education heightened concerns about its unequal effects, underscoring the critical need for equitable education systems as emphasized by international frameworks such as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the Convention on the Rights of the Child. However, despite the immense challenges the pandemic has posed to the global education system, particularly in developing regions such as the English-speaking Caribbean, this crisis has also opened doors to focus on educational equity by adapting and refining leadership and management practices across our shared region. This portion of my presentation will provide an in-depth examination of the pandemic's impact on equity within institutions, with a particular focus on the strategies and responses of leadership and management across different Caribbean nations. We will analyze how these measures have both highlighted existing inequalities and address them in innovative ways. Drawing on 3 seminal works, we will delve into a comprehensive analysis. By comparing and contrasting the identified themes, debates, and gaps, we will uncover the transformative opportunities presented by this unprecedented crisis to advance educational equity in the Caribbean. School closure due to COVID-19 intensified existing gender disparities in education. In Barbados and Jamaica, more males than females were out of school across all educational levels, with boys in rural and economically disadvantaged areas particularly affected. This trend raises concerns about boys' academic outcomes and long-term opportunities. In the broader context, Garcia Jaramillo discussed how the pandemic's triple shock affected students, particularly those from vulnerable households. These combined stresses heighten the risk of dropping out, learning loss, and mental health issues, further heightened educational inequities. As a response, educational leaders within these territories have been prompted to rethink conventional methods and consider more equitable and resilient approaches. This entails implementing policies that ensure fair access to education, utilizing public-private partnerships, and providing all students, irrespective of socioeconomic status, with the necessary resources for academic success. One key area of focus has been on developing sustainable digital learning environments. The rapid shift to online education has accelerated the adoption of digital tools, providing a foundation for ongoing improvements in teaching and learning. The Ministry of Education in Jamaica, for instance, undertook a significant effort by distributing 40,000 tablets to students, prioritizing rural regions. Meanwhile, Barbados rolled out a G Suite for Education initiative aimed at expanding technological access and supporting online education. Trinidad and Tobago's ministry likewise advanced the launch of the School Learning Management System to facilitate online learning across all educational levels. In other territories, educational leaders implemented extensive training initiatives aimed at equipping teachers, students, and parents with the skills needed to effectively navigate the shift to online education. For example, the Ministry of Education in Turks and Caicos quickly implemented capacity building initiatives for educators and distributed laptops to public schools. Similarly, the British Virgin Islands government facilitated teacher training in ICT to support a successful blended learning environment. This prompt response underscored the importance of continuous professional development and the need for educational leaders to be adaptable and proactive. However, it is important to acknowledge that despite these efforts, significant challenges persisted. Many students from low-income families and those with disabilities lack the essential infrastructure and resources needed for effective remote learning. This technological disparity stressed the ongoing need for robust support and investment in educational infrastructure. Beyond the logistical and technical challenges, the pandemic also had significant impacts on the mental health and motivation of both students and educators. Leaders in education responded by delivering psychosocial support and fostering motivation and engagement among all educational stakeholders. In Jamaica, the government provided crucial nutritional assistance via the Program for Advancement Through Health and Education and set up helplines for psychosocial support. These measures were essential in aiding students from low socioeconomic backgrounds to remain engaged in their studies. Similar efforts were made across the region to support students with special needs and those in disadvantaged areas. As we progress, Caribbean leaders must commit to prioritizing equity and inclusion in all aspects of the education system. This involves not only providing access to technology, but also addressing the underlying socioeconomic factors that contribute to educational disparities. These initiatives will serve to support disadvantaged students and ensure that educational reforms are all-encompassing and equitable. In closing, I extend my deepest appreciation to each of you for your steadfast commitment to our region's educational future. The resilience and adaptability shown by our educational leaders and communities during these times have been truly inspiring. As we progress, let us harness these strengths, turning past difficulties into tomorrow's successes. Thank you for your unwavering dedication and active participation. Together, let us continue this journey with open minds and hearts, committed to creating a brighter, more equitable educational landscape for our region. Let us advance with shared purpose and unity.